Say hello to the big, beautiful world. This is the Summer Morning Buzz Monday edition. I really wish, okay, and this is not anything against you, Crystal or Patrina, but I really wish I was hosting any other day of the week so I didn't have to deal with the tongue twister of Monday and morning every week. Because if you can tell by my speech patterns, I can never get it right without, having to put actual thought into it.
You
But,
miss like some part.
what?
You miss like a part. Every single time it's like you're almost missing a part.
Exactly. Yeah. it's I'll learn it eventually. By the time September comes around and we start the fall buzz, I'll finally have it down pat. But I am your host, Kyle Pepitone. You just heard our newscaster, Crystal Santos, and filling in for Patrina today, we have Cam Martin. How are you both doing today?
I'm exhausted a little bit. Can't complain though.
That's fair. Yeah, it's been a long weekend for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A whole lot of work to do, and just spending time with my family. So
Nice.
getting back to my daily routine. Being back here.
Yeah, that's good. Crystal,
I
what about you?
agree. I'm a little tired. I'm not gonna lie. I woke up this morning and I was like, "Do we meet at 8:30? At 8:40?" I was confused, but it's Monday. We gotta start off the week right. So
Of course.
Correct. And speaking of starting off their week right, why don't you tell us what's going on in the world?
of course, a New Jersey man was rescued from the Hudson River over the weekend when he jumped in to rescue his dog. According to ABC News, after rescuing his dog, the man was not able to get back to land, prompting the rescue. The NFL has announced it will play the Black National Anthem before each game in the 2021-22 season as part of a $250 million investment towards social justice. According to the Griot, Lift Every Voice and Sing is widely recognized as the Black National Anthem and was written over 120 years ago by James Weldon Johnson. Many people are still missing after record rainfall triggered severe floods in Germany and Belgium. BBC News reported at least 170 people have died, and that number is expected to rise further. It is now time for your morning weather update. It is currently 73 degrees, and we are looking at a high of 82 degrees. And tomorrow, we are looking at a high of 90 degrees with a low of 66 degrees. Are we looking
Awesome.
forward to this hot weather? Absolutely not.
No, I was at Six Flags this weekend
Ooh,
on Saturday when it was like 90.
that's the
Oh,
worst.
yeah, it was something. It wasn't okay. This is funny too, because when I went to Six Flags, I had to downgrade from jean jacket to sweatshirt. And, it made it a little more bearable, but yeah.
Sweatshirt, Kyle,
Yeah, well,
t-shirts.
see, the thing is, I burn easily.
Fair
So,
enough.
Okay.
and there's no shade really in Six Flags. So I had to, you know,
Provide your own
cover up
shade.
some way. And I don't like sunscreen doesn't really work. Anyway, Cam, before we go into our stories, why don't you hit us with that sportscast here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair?
Thank you, Kyle. Now time for today's sportscast. Yes, there was a lot of baseball going on. The Yankees blew out the rival Red Sox 9-1, with Gleyber Torres and Rougned Odor going yard. After Saturday night's horrifying conclusion, the Nationals and Padres played in a nail-biter yesterday when Juan Soto hit a go-ahead home run in the bottom of the eighth, only for Alcides Escobar to hit a game-winning RBI. The Nats win at 8-7. On Saturday, the Mets blew it. They gave up a grand slam to the Pirates, Jacob Stallings of the Pirates. And on Sunday, they started off as bad as you possibly could start off at the wackiest plays of all season, and going down 6-0 in the first inning. Well, the boys from Queens picked it back up with Michael Conforto launching a baseball to center field and catapulting the Nets to a 7-6 victory. And on this day in sports history, Ty Cobb got his 4,000th career hit. That is all for today's sportscast.
Awesome. Thank you. And now let's get into our top story today about vaccine inequity inside the cutthroat race to secure doses. So, as you know, the COVID vaccine has been a big part of the news recently for a few months now. But across the world, the vaccination rates between different countries has been wildly staggered. Countries like Haiti have only just received their first batch of vaccines, but only enough to cover about 5% of the population. In context, that's about 500,000 doses for a population of well over 11 million people. And areas like Sierra Leone have only just vaccinated 1% of their population. So even here, even though here in the United States, we're not even at 50 yet, but we're nearing there, some people, or some countries, I should say, are just getting past that 1% mark, which is, that's, well, we'll talk about it later, but that's something that's not what I was expecting to hear. But both American and European officials stated they didn't know how to handle the global distribution of the vaccines, and as a result, stuck to the domestic distribution of them instead. According to the Duke Global Health Innovation Center, Canada is currently producing 10.2 vaccines per resident, while the United Kingdom is making 8.2 per person, and the United States is having 4.2 vaccines per person as of early June. However, there are many reasons why these vaccines haven't been given out yet. Number one, the effects the pandemic had on wealthier countries were a lot more unexpected than we thought, and therefore wealthier countries have kept their vaccines within the borders due to ongoing export restrictions. Additionally, the plan to donate the vaccines was poorly written out and underfunded. And wealthier countries have also been lowering the minimum age requirements to be eligible to be vaccinated. And as we saw last week, are looking into the possibility of booster shots, despite health officials saying the vaccines that would otherwise be used for booster shots be donated instead. Zimbabwean businessman Masiwa stated in a Milken Institute conference, quote, "This was a deliberate global architecture of unfairness. We have no access to vaccines, either as donations or available for us to purchase. Am I surprised? No, because this is where we were with the HIV pandemic. 8 years after therapeutics were available in the West, we did not receive them and we lost 10 million people. It's simple math. We have no access, we have no vaccine miracle." End quote. So despite the campaigns and everything going on in this country that we've seen in the past weeks, past months, celebrity endorsements, all that kind of stuff, there are just some places that don't even have vaccines yet, or are just getting them.
I think we sometimes forget that that's actually going on, like not necessarily purposefully, but because we have access to them. People here in the United States are actually choosing not to get the vaccine. So I think some of us sometimes forget that there's countries who barely have any. And I mean, like, how do you even choose 500,000 doses for a population of over 11 million people? How do you even
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I have an idea of how they could choose, right? Like the wealthier, the more established, but how do you even, that's not fair. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, like how do you even just like send that little to like a country like Haiti in good conscience? Like, yeah, we know they're like well over 11 million people in population, and a lot of these vaccines even require 2 doses, but we're going to send 500,000 and they'll be fine.
Yeah, it's kind of outrageous if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. And like I can understand some of these other reasons, like export restrictions. Like we're not fully recovered yet. No one's fully recovered country-wise yet, like due to this pandemic. So like I can still see that there are some restrictions put in place. Okay, but they had a plan to donate excess doses to other countries. And the article said, yeah, it was just poorly written and didn't even reach a good amount of funding. So they pretty much just dropped it. And that's ridiculous.
Well, I remember just thinking about, like, isn't the vaccine that has to stay at a certain temperature at all times? I know it's refrigerated and all, but when you get to those different environments, it will kind of mess up the whole process of keeping it refrigerated.
Yeah. I mean, I remember early in the vaccine stages, I think this was even before the new year, that like whatever one it was, they had to be kept at really low temperatures, like sub freezing or something like that. I don't think that's an actual thing. But Like I don't know if it's gotten more, for lack of a better word, regulated since then. Like they can keep them at like normal refrigerated temperatures instead of like super cooler temperatures. But
I know what you mean. I just remember just yeah. I know that to be a certain temperature, else the effectiveness of the vaccine just
right,
not
yeah.
existed at that point.
And I feel like if they did write out this plan to donate the excess ones better, they probably could have accounted for that and given the proper funding, probably could have made it happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
If
probably
we
one
can
of
get
the
a if we can get a vaccine ready in a year, we can find a way to transport it through by plane or somewhere.
that's probably where the issue with the funding was, just to try to make sure to regulate the vaccine temperature.
Right. Yeah.
I guess some you were Cam was mentioning the temperatures for the vaccine, and it's not funny, but I was thinking about when I got my vaccine. So when I went to the spot, like they just had the vaccines laying on the table, and now
Really?
I'm concerned. Yeah, like I'm not even like stretching the truth or like trying to lie, but the vaccine was just like laying on the table, and in my head I'm like, isn't that supposed to be like refrigerated or
Yeah.
because I know that a lot of places like when we first got the vaccines and everybody was a bit skeptical.
Right.
I know at least for my area there was a couple of like either senior citizen centers or something like that that would have extras, I guess, and they would try to like promote it on social media where they would be like, oh, we have X amount of vaccines that need to
Right.
get used today. So I'm here thinking like, I wonder if my vaccine was okay for me to get, or was it, as effective as it should have been.
Yeah,
So
having them sitting out is weird. Kind of, they're laid out like samples at Costco, like one per customer, and then
yeah.
obviously you would have to come back in 2 weeks and get the second one. But for the sake of the joke, one per customer. But yeah, having them laid out does seem a little weird, especially if they still do, or depending on which one it is, still do have to be kept at these um, extreme temperatures.
That's what I said. And it wasn't even like the first one. It happened for both of them. They were both just laying there. I'm hoping it was okay and they had
Yeah,
a purpose
I'm
for
sure
that.
you're fine. I'm sure they knew what they well, I want to believe they knew what they were doing. And if they didn't, they wouldn't have authority to hand out or give out or give vaccinations. Jeez, words are hard.
Words are hard, but overall for the vaccines, crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, but what do you think about this quote from Masiwa, the businessman, who said, yeah, this same exact thing happened during the HIV pandemic. Do you think this is a little bit more deliberate than it seems? That these other places
Um,
aren't getting as many as they probably could?
See, personally, yeah. I mean, it's kind of obvious that the larger population of those first world countries, they don't care about the other countries around the world, because you got to think about, you want to put it back to historical terms. During imperialism, they would want to you take up their resources anyway. And
Right.
if they're able to eliminate the population, just use up the resources, these first world countries would easily be able to run the world at their disposal.
Right. Yeah. That's a very good point. And yeah, I mean, the fact that he's saying this has happened before, like, there's only so much you can blame on export restrictions and a poorly written out, underfunded plan. At that point, some of it falls on you. Like, I'll excuse some of it through, okay, yeah, maybe exports are a little bit harder to get out now, but you're also the government. You can figure it out. Having been the one put the export restrictions in place in the first place. At
yeah, I
least
feel like we
I assume
always
they did.
we always kind of know, and I feel like it's always been like that, some of us are just so used to it, and it shouldn't be like that, right? That some of the second, third world countries always
Right.
end up getting like the end side of the steak. And I think it's unfair, right? But
Right.
I feel like I know that the Biden administration were like actively donating vaccines. But I forgot where I read like an opinion article, and it was basically saying how why should the United States always be the one to, I guess, help? But I feel like it's
Right.
like, well, we're the ones that are more fortunate, you know?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we? These are
Exactly.
people's lives.
Granted, we're not making as many vaccines per person as like we saw like Canada and United Kingdom are, but we were like number 4. Like it had a whole bunch of it had a list of a whole bunch of countries and like how many vaccines they had per resident. It was Canada, United Kingdom, European nation, and then us. So
Wow.
yeah, like you're saying, we are a little bit more fortunate enough that we can help. Whether we do that every time, I don't see the problem with that. Would you okay, let's put this in a more personal perspective, like a one-on-one person. If you held the door open for a person every time, would you just eventually go, why am I doing this every time? Why doesn't somebody else do it? It that I'm sorry, Crystal. I don't know what your opinion on the opinion article was, but that's something I can agree with because it's helping people out shouldn't be an obligation. It should be something you want to do.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. It shouldn't, like you said, it shouldn't feel, it's like perfect, I think, the holding the door analogy. Like you're not gonna be like, oh my God, I'm sick of it. No,
Yeah.
you're gonna, well, that's being polite, right? Like, you just common
Right.
courtesy, just hold the door for the person behind you. But no, I definitely do think that, like if we're the more fortunate ones,
Right.
I don't think it'll do us any harm or, make us go broke or anything like that
Right.
to help other nations that are, struggling to vaccine their people.
Yeah. And I believe you've brought this up in previous weeks, but we're reaching a point where those who want to get vaccinated already have, or for the most part already have. And what's left are the people who are a little bit skeptical. So, if you break it down, a lot of these vaccines are probably going to go unused, at least here in the country. So, why wouldn't we send them somewhere? Like put
Mm-hmm.
them to use.
I wonder if there's like a log where, because okay, so let's say the example that I said earlier, right? How some like whether it was hospital, nursing homes, whatever the case may be, they had a
Right.
certain amount of vaccines that they need to use for that day. Now, I'm no scientist, so I'm not sure how, or doctor, so I'm not sure how you having a deadline for vaccines to be used makes sense, but that's what they said. So
Right.
I wonder if they ended up using every single vaccine that they had at hand, or if some of the vaccines that they had went to waste. And then I'm wondering if there's like a log where all the vaccines that have gone to waste, hopefully it's not a law, but we don't know. I wonder if there's like some sort of log or something
Like a
where people can
documentation
see.
of like, okay, this many were given out, this many, for lack of a better word, expired, stuff like
Uh-huh.
that.
I would
I
assume.
wonder.
I would not. I would 1,000% guarantee that there's some kind of log for that. And I think that unfortunately the number of unused vaccinations is much greater than we want it to be.
Right, yeah, probably. I mean, they've been tracking hospitalizations, the fact that they can track new cases per state. Like I don't know what kind of technology they have on hand,
That's
but
different.
like the fact that they can even go state by state, no matter how big or small the state is, and be like, yeah, we can say like around, like with good confidence, around this number of new cases happened this week. I feel like they can document what kind of vaccine or what status each vaccine received.
Actually,
For
Kyle, it's even deeper than that. It's each county. They can go each county in the
very
country.
true.
That's
Yes.
it's so that's like that's like a typical day for the 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 government to track the number of vaccines unused. So that's
Yeah, that is true. That is a good
I
point to
just
bring up.
No, yeah, definitely. I think I'm not sure if they do. I'm trying to find it on Google, but I can't seem to find one. But I did find this article from NPR that says this was published back in June 10th of this year. And it says states say large amounts of J&J shots may be wasted if not used soon. And it basically says Ohio hospitals and health departments are trying to figure out how to give out 200,000 doses of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine that are expiring at the end of the month. So I guess aside from them having to be regulated with temperature, they also have an expiration date. Well, obviously they do, but I didn't think they were going to be that soon, right? Like expiring the end of the month. So they basically expired, the end of June.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were ever able to use all 200,000. I hope so.
And with J&J, that's probably a little bit tougher to do because that's the one right off the bat, it's out of the three main one, it's the least effective. And also it's the one we've seen in the news a lot that's coming out with all these complications or possible complications. I don't remember if they knew if the complications were related to the vaccine yet or not. So, but still, it's always under J&J that it's speculated. So,
yeah, the last thing I heard of that was basically they didn't know with certainty, but it was like a common factor. So everybody who ended up getting sick, which was mostly women, they had all gone recently the COVID-19 Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So, I guess they were putting two and two together, like what's going on with them and what's the common denominator.
Exactly.
And it was the J&J vaccine. But that's crazy. I guess that's just one of like an example. And again, this was like earlier in June, so they could have very easily used all of them, but they could have also very well not used all of them.
Exactly.
So I'm not sure, but I will say that had they not been used, they could have. They could have been donated to somewhere else.
Exactly.
But I will say though,
go ahead. Yeah.
Imagine they would have been donated. Like, let's just put a scenario, right? And I know people say you shouldn't do this, but let's just say that 100 from those 200,000 doses would have been donated, and then from the J&J, and then people get sick, like more people get sick. I think that would have just created a more
issues.
Come on, like it would have been.
Well, it's worth mentioning, and this is from our station manager Annabella. She just told me, but she said like there were complications linked to the J&J vaccine, but statistically speaking, they were like she used the word insignificant. So like
it was like what, probably like point something percentage.
Yeah, it's not like 80% of people who got the J&J vaccine had these problems.
I suppose like it was just a small number of individuals that had issues, but people, you can have health issues with a number of different things. So that's really, it just happens that they had the J&J vaccine and said like, oh well, this happened with me, but I got it's a whole lot of different things.
Right, but
honestly,
go ahead.
I was going to say like this next comment is my opinion, does not reflect the stations, but I was just going to say like I personally went to get my vaccine and I had gone to like this mega site, and it so happens to be that the first day that I went, that's the first day they started to give out the J&J vaccine. However, my personal opinion, I kind of don't think that J&J can be trusted, and so I was like, I don't want to get that vaccine, and so I ended up leaving and ended up going again and getting the Pfizer one. And and I don't regret that decision at all.
Except the fact that they were sitting out in the open.
Right.
Anyway, moving on. Cam, what is going on out west?
Wow, so out west there's a huge fire going on, a lot of wildfires. So this specific fire is in Oregon. Bly, Oregon is the bootleg wildfire. It's torched more dry forest landscapes. It's the largest of dozens of different fires, and the size of it is over 476 square miles. It is about the size of Los Angeles. A 2,000 person fire force is battling this fire. However, it's quite the feat. Quote, "The weather is really against us." John Flanagan, an operations section chief on the force, says, "It's going to be dry. It's going to be dry air and going to be unstable." End quote. It has been 22% contained, but already burnt down 67 homes and 100 outbuildings, and threatens to burn at least 1,000 more.
Wow.
It's one of those things, right, that goes on. It happens every summer typically that there's a wildfire, but this is something else, because it's not just one massive one, it's multiple, there's dozens of these. And it's just seeing this is like, wow, this is really happening.
Right. And it's not just Oregon, it's like a lot of the west of
Oregon,
Western America.
It's I saw Washington it's happening in Washington, Northern California, Oregon. It's happened all over the Pacific. There's 16 of them that are occurring in the Pacific Northwest as we speak.
Right. Yeah. I think because we were looking at this, I believe last week. I forget what day of the week it was, but like this heat storm that we are getting here is not just happening here. It's happening across the country. Death Valley broke a record the other week and went up to 130 degrees.
Wow.
And that area, that part of America is very susceptible to these fires to begin with. So this hot, humid air that has been, just like battering us down for the last month or so is probably not helping that. And it's insane because like they were dealing with California was dealing with fires and stuff like last year, and I didn't keep up with the story, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know if they completely fought it or if it was still going on till this day, but if they did fight it, they got to go through this again. And it's
67 homes though. That's a lot. That's a big number. Like houses, that's a crazy number for me. And 100 outbuildings.
Yeah, and that's just in Oregon, right?
That's literally just right there, just in Bly, Oregon.
Sometimes I think we are so lucky to live in the East Coast and on the West Coast, because there's always like a wildfire going on, and it's the worst.
Only thing is with us, we have hurricanes, but us in Jersey, we really don't get hit with hurricanes too much.
Recently, though, and this is from our news little section in our Discord, but from NJ.com, yesterday they posted something about a tornado.
In Marin County.
Yeah, tore an 8-mile path. So we're not entirely lucky to be on the East Coast. We still got our own natural disasters to deal with, but I don't know which one's worse, honestly, because you can't fight a tornado. Like, with their best efforts, firefighters can fight off a forest fire. They can do their best. You can't exactly hit a tornado with a hose and expect it to go away.
Well, here's the thing. The way I see it is this: the tornado is not going to happen that likely to us. So we can kind of just relax a little bit. I mean, as the forest fire that happens often, and these forest fires just get crazier and crazier. So it's like a matter of, I would much rather deal with a occasional tornado,
right,
to experience a forest fire, because homes are going to be destroyed regardless, but that's you have less likely of a chance to have a tornado happen than to see another forest fire.
Right.
Literally, like you said, it happened literally last August. I remember moving back into school and hearing about that forest fire. A friend of mine, her father was actually out there battling those forest fires in California.
Oh wow. Yeah.
That's
And the other thing is too about the, like the forest fire versus tornado. You have to look at like things like we saw in Texas, like they don't get blizzards at all, and they were unprepared for it. So if we had the occasional tornado here, I think at least in some areas we'd have that problem too. Like we're not equipped to deal with something.
Oh yeah,
like
1,000%. It's just a matter of, I would much rather face strong winds than a blaze.
Yeah, no.
That's I much rather face a strong winds.
Definitely.
At the end of the day, they're both horrifying, but
you really don't want to be in either. But
but still, if you had to choose,
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I feel like we're terrible people for trying to say like which one would be worse than the other. But I will say that I Googled it and said that according to the National Severe Storms Laboratory, tornado can last on the ground an average of 5 minutes.
Wow,
So
really?
yes, so
They do a lot of 5 minutes.
I think it's terrible to compare them, but
You're
if
right.
we're
Yeah.
really looking at it, 5 minutes over like days and weeks of
Right.
burning stuff.
Yeah. Hopefully,
I'm just
like
saying.
you said, it's been 22% contained already, right?
Yeah, 22% has been contained already.
So hopefully, hopefully they're still putting in their best efforts and they can get this one. Well, not just this one in Oregon, but like
All of
all
them.
over the West Coast, they can really get these down. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the weather starts to let up a little, hopefully making their job just a little bit easier.
There's a shout out to all the firefighters out there. Thank you for your services. You guys are doing the greatest thing for us. Keep, we have your support 100% of the way.
Yes. And we are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to quickly look at what symptoms you should be out for COVID, even if you are vaccinated. And we're going to talk about the new cicada season. That should be fun. All right. Stay tuned on 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair.
Hey, you're listening to 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, where music stays cool. Cooler than a dog on a skateboard. Okay, I take that back, but we're still pretty cool.
All right, and welcome back to the Summer Morning Buzz Monday edition here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I can't put it off any longer. We're going to have to talk about cicadas again, but real quick before we do that, from NJ.com, even if you are vaccinated, there are a few COVID symptoms you should look out for, such as headache, runny nose, sneezing, sore throat, and loss of smell. And although these symptoms are, likely to happen to anyone, they are the main symptoms that are seen in vaccination or in vaccinated patients. But it's not too big of a worry. Only a few thousand people out of the 160 million that have been vaccinated in the country have had these symptoms. So it's still an issue, but it's not as big of an issue if you are vaccinated, because as we know, the Pfizer and Moderna dose of the vaccine are 95% effective, and Johnson & Johnson is about 66% effective, which is still more than 50%. So, so what do you think about this? The fact that even if you have the vaccine, you're not at risk, but you should still be wary.
Honestly, I'm glad that they came out with this list because I'm glad and I'm not glad. Here's why.
Right.
So I'm glad because it's always good to have a point of reference, right? Like, so I know for the last couple of days, I've been experiencing headaches. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should look out or whatever the case may be.
Right.
However, I would say that, for example, the other day when I went into work, my manager, she was telling me how she has like there's 5 symptoms that the NJ.com put out as things you should look out for, right? Based on a study. But my manager, she was telling me how she's been having like headaches and sneezing and like, but it's not because she had already gotten tested, but it's because of allergies.
Yeah.
So many people are like, I feel like they find themselves conflicted at times because it's like, well, do I have allergies or can I have COVID? And I think it's
and that was my big thing too. Other than like loss of smell, like these are all symptoms of like a regular fever. So how are you supposed to know? Are you supposed to sneeze once a day and just go into a full-on panic that you might have COVID again? Or, just be like, oh, wait, this is probably just natural.
Yeah, I feel like the best thing anyone could do is to get tested just to make sure, because I feel like there's really no way of knowing if it's an allergy or if it's COVID. It's
Very
scary.
true. Better safe than sorry.
But right. it's scary, but I guess it's just something that everyone needs to do. I feel like, honestly, I feel like if you're going out and if you're out and about, you should still get tested at least maybe like every week, just so you know
It's
you're
probably,
safe.
yeah, something good to recommend to do, just to like stay cautious, because it's not gone. The vaccine rates are going up day by day, yes, albeit at a little bit of slower rate than most people would like, but that doesn't mean COVID is gone yet. And speaking of other things that aren't gone yet, Cam, cicadas, what's happening? Cam? Or okay. So according to what Cam wrote here, cicada season 2.0 is coming out. And yeah, that's not something I'm looking forward to myself. But what about Crystal? I can't assume. Can I safely assume that you don't want this either?
Honestly, Kyle, I am unbothered by them. And
Are
I say
you
this because
sure?
I'm 90% sure. And I say this because I know there was like the whole big thing around these and people like eating them and whatnot, but I'm fine. They're not gonna do nothing to me. It's all the way I like to think about it, it's like all in your head. You know, you know how people tell you like when bees are around you, and then you're like,
Yes.
if you know, you get that they get that sense that you're scared, they're gonna be stay around you. So it's all in your head. You just gotta just ignore it.
Yeah. Well, I hate to break it to you, but these are not the same cicadas that we've been seeing. These are brood X cicadas, and they're the ones that come out every 17 years. According to Gene Kritsky, a cicada expert in Mount Joseph University in Ohio, the annual cicadas are harder to spot and are quieter than this brood X variety. And this variety of cicadas can reach up to 90 decibels, as loud as a gas powered lawnmower. So are you still as unbothered as you claim?
I take that back. I like my no. I take it back. I take it back. I take it back.
Just imagine the pure fact of hearing a lawnmower at night. Let that sink in. You're trying to go to sleep and you just hear, whoa, whoa, hold on, bro. Who's cutting the grass house? Nope. These cicadas, if they're that loud, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be very, very mad if I have to go to sleep.
It's one thing to
Wow.
be woken up by somebody mowing the lawn. It's another thing to try to go to sleep through it.
Oh,
Or
it's the
just stay sleeping.
Yeah, true. I
see.
don't.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan. Like here's the thing. I don't sleep as it is, honestly. But that's beside the point.
Yeah, that's college
Uh,
students.
you know that we typically don't get much sleep as college students. But still, like if you're trying to enjoy yourself, you know, you try to just vibe out, chill, relax, and you hear a lawnmower at 11:30 at night. Are you kidding me?
Oh, no, no. I guess I'm
Kyle,
a
I really
little lucky. Well, go ahead, Crystal.
I was gonna say, Kyle, I think I was feeling bold, when I said that. I was like, oh, it don't matter,
Yeah.
you guys gotta act like they're not there. But now I'm concerned because absolutely not. I remember there was this one time they were doing construction nearby my house at 7 in the morning, and I remember it was like the summer. This was like happened last year or the year before that, and I was just like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
No, no,
exactly.
I'm trying to sleep. I appreciate my sleep. You may not, but I do.
I
No.
want, okay, yeah, okay. I get they're loud, but I want, well, yeah, no, cicadas just do nothing but scream. So it's not even like it's going to be a soothing loud noise. It's going to be this ear splitting, screeching lawnmower uh level just noise. So I was trying to look on a positive side. I'm like, maybe it'll be something close to like white noise. I have
No.
doubts. I have major doubts.
It's like going to a family party, and like you have all your older
Oh
aunts and
no.
uncles. That's what that's like. Just all that loudness, all that craziness. That's the equivalent of what you should be expecting when you hear cicadas. Just saying. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I'm expecting like school cafeteria levels, like middle school cafeteria levels of loud.
Oh God, yeah, those. Like,
Yeah. No. Okay. I am gonna say I hopefully like I don't know if the season has started yet, but I'm crossing my fingers that my fan is loud enough to drown him out because that I can sleep through. I can sleep through the fan. Um, Screaming, I don't know. I, I,
I guess we'll find out.
There,
yeah, I
there's
guess.
on NJ.com that has this the ways how you can tell the difference. So if you see them out in the wilds, check out that if you're interested, check out that list on NJ.com to see the Brood X variety.
Right, like like physical differences, like
All right,
appearance and stuff.
yeah, like it's something about I see something about their eyes. Their eyes are different, and just a whole list of it. So if you're interested, check that out on NJ.com.
Yeah, I don't know if I see a cicada, I don't know how much time I'm gonna spend looking in its eyes.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. See, if I see this kid, I'm gonna dip. But people are out there. People like to check it out.
Yeah. I was looking at the article and there's just these close-up pictures. No, no, no. I hate it. I hate it so much.
So I
Ugh.
think one of the main differences between these is like the noise that they make. Well, this is
Yeah.
according to the article.
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah, and some typically do it during the day and not at night. So I like those. First of all, I don't want to see any of them, but if I have to choose ones, I pick the ones that are noisy at day and quiet at night. Those are the
Yeah.
ones I need.
Like, I'm not a fan of bugs at all, but if they don't bother me, I don't care. And if they're just chilling out on a tree, they're not bothering me. If they are either screaming all night long or in my house, then they're bothering me. And that's when I start to have a problem.
Fair enough.
Right. You need to get one
So,
of those
yeah,
fly
exactly. I
smackers
don't
things.
hate cicadas for existing. That's what they do. I can't blame them. But when it's like, if they're not going to pay the mortgage, they have no right being in my house and they have no right making noise all night.
Yo, if they're
I know
not
you-
paying rent, get out. Eviction notice. Get out.
Exactly. I actually don't know how likely it is for like a cicada to fly into a house because I know house flies do it all the time, and
But
that
cicadas.
annoys me to no end.
But cicada, I have not. I don't think I've seen a cicada into someone's house. I
Yeah.
don't think in my my 20 years of life, I don't remember. Well, cicadas, they have. You know what I mean? I
If
don't.
they did,
I
I'm
don't-
moving out.
Yeah, I don't. If the day I see that happening, Jersey, it's been real. I love y'all. I'm going out to Canada. Deuces.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But
Kayo, I have to ask.
Oh, no.
I just have to ask. Kayo, do you pay mortgage or rent in your house? You specifically, not your parents. You,
How dare you.
Kayo.
How dare you?
No,
yes.
because he said, "Oh, he does."
Well,
Okay,
I don't
not
pay
Wow.
rent, but I make up for it. I help out and stuff around the house. And if my parents are listening, I expect I'm going to get a call from them very soon. But no,
You're gonna-
no, you bring up a fair point. I don't pay mortgage, so I'll move out very soon. As soon as I get home, I'll start packing up.
Hey,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
kicking at the cicadas. You kicking yourself out. You see?
That's
Hey,
fair.
man,
And I
listen.
can't even say cicadas are annoying because I'm the same way. I annoy my parents too. So maybe the bug all along was me.
We gotta bring Kyle's parents onto the show and ask them.
Yeah,
true.
right. Okay. No, I can't do cicadas anymore. I can't do bugs. But in a happier news, over in New York, unsuspecting pedestrians trigger a dance party by standing on a decal that says, "Stand here for dance party." According to the Good News Network, a street performance group, Improv Everywhere, has placed decals styled after social distancing circles on New York City streets that read, "Stand here for a dance party." And although most people ignored them or snapped a quick photo, as most people would do with something like that, the ones who did stand on the circle were greeted by 100 people dancing around them with a 1980s style boombox. The group is known for their surprise public antics and for their very first event back in the semi-normal world. They partnered with dance crew Dynamic Rockers and the Museum of the City of New York. 100 dancers went undercover, and whenever somebody stepped on the circle, they immediately came out, started blasting music and dancing. And we have a video here of exactly what that was. And, I was looking at it before the show and it was, it's quite like it's nice. So for those on Facebook, you can see the video. But for those listening, basically, to start off this video, a guy in like a construction vest came in, slapped the stand here for a dance party sticker on the ground. And people, flocked to it. Hey, what just happened? What are they doing? Oh, it says stand here for a dance party. Some people were looking at it. But now there's this one lady who's actually stepped on the circle. And these guys are just coming out with music, ready to start dancing. So as you can expect, bystanders are very confused by this. But it's a dance party, so why not get involved? Exactly what everybody starts doing. And so now there's two people in tracksuits, and they're just going out and they're part of it. They're part of the improv group or the dance group. And soon you'll see a bunch of people, like now bystanders, so like now there are plainclothes people who are like professional dancers. They would come but soon, as more time goes on, just everybody is whether they're part of it or not. And they are just having a good time. Even the kids are joining in too. And like literally there's the entire age range. Dancing. It's finally some good music.
Awesome, really.
And then the rest of the video is kind of like a rinse and repeat of other people doing it. But oh my goodness, when I was watching that this morning, my heart went out because it was so fun to watch. And they even had you saw the testimonials in the middle of the video where these two, where this lady was like, those people could move. I wish I could move like that. And like, I have to ask, would you either of you actually step on the circle, or would you just kind of like take a picture and move on?
Man, it depends on the mood. See, I can't dance, but like
I'm right with you.
I would not mind, but I would not mind, being out there and just having a good old time, because that's me. At the end of the day, it's like to have fun. If I look goofy dancing, yeah, but we're all just having fun. We're all in this together.
Yeah. The thing is, at least for me, I don't know if I'd want to be that center of attention before everyone else joined in. So like, yes, I think it would be in my natural instinct to step on it, but I feel like I would preferably have liked to join in with the larger crowd, like not be the one to initiate it.
I feel that. Well, see, I say this now, but like, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. Back in high school, I run track still. Every track meet we went to, there's always a big old dance party. I would never do it. Why? I don't know. Now, years later, here I am. I would say I would dance. I'll be the first person out there. What happened? I can't tell you. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's true. Crystal, any thoughts? Opinions?
I absolutely love this video. I love everything about it. I think it's super lit. I think it's super fun. Like, wow, like what a smart initiative. It's just, gets everyone in a good mood. Not only the people who are actually dancing, but also the spectators. So yeah. I love this. And personally, I love to dance. I'm not good at it, but I love to dance. Like it's just, something about music just gets me going. I always say, and whenever I'm doing something, I just need music, whatever the case may be, whatever music I like, but I need music. Right. So I would have definitely stood on top of the little stand here for a dance party sign. Definitely would have stand there. I'm not sure if I could have danced to that beat because it's really not, my
That'd be
thing.
crazy.
You couldn't do all those moves they were doing, all the spins and stuff.
Kind of
that beat was
vibe,
crazy.
no.
That beat was crazy. Nah, that beat was that. I got that.
Yeah.
I would be like, I would like vibe to it, obviously, but it'd be a little challenging getting on my head or something.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
no, but overall, I really did love this. It's such a, where's
Yeah.
this at so I can go?
It was
New York.
in New York, but I don't know how much longer. I doubt they're just waiting there 24/7
Right.
every time somebody steps on it.
Right.
Oh, I said, it's 10 o'clock. Let's go. Dance party. Yeah.
It's the city that never sleeps.
Hey, man, listen.
Exactly.
You never know.
Yeah, but if we want to take a quick trip from New York to Florida, we've got less heartwarming news. As a 32-year-old man in Daytona Beach was arrested last week for trying to throw an alligator that he stole from a miniature golf course onto the roof of a cocktail lounge. He then took the alligator by the tail, hit it against the wall of the building, threw it on the ground, and stomped on it twice. And his reason for doing so, when questioned by the police, was he was teaching it a lesson. And that is a quote from the article. The man was taken into custody, and I'm going to pose this one as a question. And when he was arrested, was he charged with A, possession of an alligator, B, injury of said alligator, C, unarmed burglary of an occupied building, D, theft, E, criminal mischief, or F, all of the above?
Ooh.
Cam, what is it?
I have F, all of the above. Final answer.
Yes. What is going on in Florida? First of all, forget the throwing the alligator and hitting it against the wall. That's normal Florida. Well, I guess all of this is normal Florida. But how do you, first of all, why is an alligator part of a mini golf course to justify the term stealing it? And why would you steal an alligator in the first place?
One word and one word only. Florida.
Fair enough. But I don't understand.
No, those people who like to have like reptiles or like just pets that are weird, like not common ones like a cat or dog or a fish type
You're
of
talking
thing.
like snakes, tarantulas, that kind of stuff.
Exotic.
Yeah.
Those exotic pets. See,
Yeah,
what I'm
although
thinking is, I guess my Florida man wanted to take it home with him.
I guess because it wasn't his pet alligator. He stole it from a mini golf course, and that's the part I can't get past.
One or two things. One, he wanted to take it home with him, and then as he was walking back, the alligator, was an alligator and bit him. Said, "Stop it, relax," or hit him with the tail, and that's why I said teaching a lesson. Or he was playing mini golf, and the alligator took his ball, and the Florida man was like, "Are you kidding me, bro?"
He was about to get a hole in one, and the alligator got in the way. He's like, "Okay, that's the final straw. You're going on the roof."
How do you manage to toss an alligator onto the roof, though? How do you do?
That is a good question. I actually don't know if he succeeded. I don't know if he actually got it onto the roof. It didn't say in the article. Props to him if he did.
Yeah, like that. Shout out Florida man. Yo, I do what he's drinking. Water, of course.
I feel like that's just crazy enough to be a world record. I don't think, as to my knowledge, nobody holds the record for most alligators thrown onto the roof yet, or onto a roof yet. So, he might have that going for him.
Get us both,
along with the 5, police charges.
Listen, that's a world record. Most police charges while tossing an alligator on the roof. Yo, Guinness. Yo, give my man Florida man. Yo, he set a world record here. I need you down there.
One of those oddly specific world records.
Put him in the book.
Oh, Florida.
I don't think he actually got into the roof because in the article it says he attempted to do
that's a very tall. You gotta be. Imagine how much force you gotta put into that toss.
Yeah, and it's depending on the size of an alligator too. I'm pretty sure those things weigh like a lot.
I tell you, yeah. Forget the size of the alligator. How tall? How tall is that building? To just think about.
Yeah.
Like that building is,
Okay, hold up. According to Google, the average weight of an alligator is, so for the Chinese alligator, it's 79 to 99 pounds. An American alligator, according to this, has a mass of 500 pounds.
Yep, never mind. Yep,
How
I
do
don't.
you throw that?
It's either
It
it's
had to
called,
be like a baby alligator or something.
you know what it was. You know what it was. And this is a Marvel shout out. It's Alligator Loki. Alligator Loki. That's
No
what it is.
spoilers. No spoilers, please.
I'm just saying it's Alligator Loki.
Yes, maybe we can speculate for the next hour how he threw a 500 or seemingly 500-pound alligator.
Had to be a baby alligator though.
It had to be something smaller. Nobody can lift 500 pounds. I don't care where you're from. Well,
You probably
okay,
could.
I shouldn't say that. People can lift 500 pounds if they try.
But like, yeah. But it's like, whoa, what you doing, bro? Now, even still, how do you justify tossing any weight like that above your head without,
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense.
It's insane. I mean, I guess he failed. He had to.
Oh, 1,000%.
I have no idea how many times he tried, but according to this article, at least the way I'm interpreting it, he tried throwing him on the roof to teach him a lesson. He's like, okay, that didn't work. Then took him by the tail, swung him against the side of the building, threw him on the ground, and stomped on. Like, how? Also, why is throwing it your first reaction and not like anything after that?
Sounds like animal cruelty to me.
Well,
yeah, he definitely got charged with that. So, like,
just imagine being a bystander, just walking down the street. You just got your ice cream because yesterday's National Ice Cream Day, and you see an alligator just get tossed. What would you do? What would you do in that situation?
I don't run, maybe, because now. So at least if the guy had the alligator, it was relatively contained. Once you throw the alligator and he hits ground again, he's
fair
free.
Game.
I'm out of there.
Yep, fair game. We out.
But with that being said, that brings us to the end of our show. I hope you speculate about this alligator story for the rest of the day. But this has been the Summer Morning Buzz Monday edition. Cam, thank you once again for filling in for both co-host and sportscaster today. I have been your regular host, Kyle Pepitone, here with our newscaster as well, Crystal Santos. Have a great day, everyone. The Morning Buzz will be back tomorrow with new stories and new hosts. Take care, everyone, here on 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair.